All right, everyone moving to Sacramento always talks about the exact same suburbs: Roseville, Folsom, Rocklin, Elk Grove. These are all solid areas and we cover them all the time on the channel, but here's what nobody talks about. Some of the most scenic, most lifestyle-driven communities in the entire region are getting completely overlooked. We're talking bigger lots, more privacy, foothill views, outdoor access, less congestion, and way more character than a lot of those newer cookie cutter suburbs that people are rushing into right now.
And here's what's wild. Sacramento is not one market. You can drive 20 minutes in almost any direction and end up in a completely different environment with a different pace of life, different housing style, completely different day-to-day experience. Some of these places honestly don't even feel like Sacramento anymore.
Some feel like old Northern California foothill towns, some are heavily wooded, some are tucked away from the city, and others give you space and a lifestyle that most buyers didn't even realize existed in California. We saved the most surprising one for the very end because chances are at least one of these places that we're talking about on today's video isn't what you're expecting, so stick around because you're gonna wanna see that last one.
We're covering 5 communities today: Fair Oaks, Lincoln, Loomis, Cameron Park, and Auburn. Each one offers something completely different, and they're all within a short drive of Sacramento. But here's what makes this interesting. Most people relocating here think they know exactly what they want until they actually start exploring these areas in person.
Now, we've had clients completely convinced that they wanted new construction in Roseville or Folsom. Then we took them through Fair Oaks, took them up to the hill towards Auburn, and the whole search changed on a dime. We're also gonna give you the trade-offs, the real trade-offs for each of these areas, not just the highlights, the actual stuff that you need to know to make a decision. Because the last community on the list is the one that people visit once and they spend the entire time trying to figure out how to move there.
Fair Oaks might be one of the biggest hidden gems anywhere around Sacramento because the second you drive in, it immediately feels different. You're under massive oak trees, winding through older established neighborhoods, passing custom homes tucked deep into the trees. There are streets out here that genuinely do not feel like what most people picture when they think of Sacramento. And that's exactly why people fall in love with this area. Now, compared to a lot of the newer master plan suburbs in this region, Fair Oaks feels mature and established. This area was naturally developed over time instead of built all at once over the last decade. And one of the biggest lifestyle advantages here is the American River Parkway access. You've got biking trails, walking paths, river access, kayaking, and parks. Outdoor recreation is woven directly into this community itself. Spots like Sailor Bar become major hangout areas during the warmer months. And for a lot of locals, the Parkway is honestly one of the best parts about living here. But where Fair Oaks really separates itself is the village. You've got Old Soul Company for coffee, O Cafe Bakery Bistro for brunch, Fair Oaks Brew Pub for craft beer and pizza, Shangri-La for dinner and cocktails. You've got local boutiques, farmers markets, and concerts in the park. It has way more of that local Northern California small town energy than most people expect this close to downtown Sacramento. This is the kind of place where people are outside, walking the village, biking the parkway, grabbing coffee under the giant oak trees, and actually enjoying the environment around them. That's really why people love Fair Oaks. It offers more character, privacy, greenery, and outdoor access than a lot of the newer suburban communities around Sacramento. Now, housing-wise, Fair Oaks is very different from places like Roseville, Rocklin, or even Elk Grove. You're not getting rows of newer tract homes here. There's a lot more architectural variety with older ranch-style homes, custom homes, mid-century properties, larger lots in certain pockets, and even some estate-style homes throughout the area. You'll find homes ranging from the $500,000s and $600,000s all the way up to well over $1 million, depending on location, lot sizes, updates, and the proximity to the river. Now, here's the thing though, a lot of the housing stock is older. Some homes may need updating, and if you want brand new infrastructure or a highly polished master plan community feel, Fair Oaks is probably not the right fit for you. But if you value mature neighborhoods, outdoor access, privacy, and a more established Northern California atmosphere, Fair Oaks is easily one of the most underrated communities anywhere around Sacramento.
All right, now real quick before we keep going, if this is your first time to the channel, we're Lance and Lauren with the Living in Sacramento team, where we make these videos for you guys about what it's really like living, moving, and relocating to the Sacramento and surrounding suburbs. We help hundreds of people buy and sell homes every single week in the greater Sacramento metro, and we drop videos so you have real boots on the ground info so you can make the best decision possible. Now, on top of making these videos, we're also licensed real real estate agents in the state of California, which means that as much as we love making these videos, we love helping you more with all of your real estate needs. So that phone number is going to be popping up. We are the ones that answer every phone call, email, and text message, or better yet, go ahead and scan that QR code for your one-on-one strategy sessions so we can put together a game plan that's right for you on making the move to the Sacramento area. Now, Lauren just touched on one of the suburbs that I absolutely love. Fair Oaks feels heavily wooded, mature, and tucked away. Lincoln is almost the complete opposite, but it does have a little bit of character to itself. Lincoln was one of the fastest growing communities anywhere in the Sacramento region, and once people actually drive through Lincoln for the first time, they usually understand pretty quickly why so many people are actually moving here. Now, Lincoln was the second place where I actually bought my very first home, and this place has dramatically changed over the last several years. Entire sections of the city that used to feel almost rural are now filled with newer neighborhoods, modern homes, expanding retail centers, newer schools, parks, infrastructure, and they're continuing to grow in real time. A lot of people moving here are coming from the Bay Area, Southern California, and some of the even more crowded parts of Sacramento. Now, more or less, they want more breathing room. They want newer homes, they want quieter neighborhoods, and they want a slower overall pace. The other nice thing about Lincoln is they also want some of those newer master plan communities, specifically Lincoln Crossing and Liberty Ranch. Now, without feeling completely disconnected from the rest of the region, once you start driving through 12 Bridges, Lincoln Crossing, and some of the newer communities west of Lincoln, you really start seeing how the lifestyle here comes together. Wider streets, newer parks, walking trails, community gathering areas, neighborhoods packed with newer construction. Builders like KB, TriPoint, Toll Brothers, Richmond American, Taylor Morrison, Meritage, Lennar, they're all continuing to expand throughout the city. Now, one thing people are usually surprised about out here is just how modern some of the homes feel. You have oversized kitchen islands, open concept layouts, the downstairs guest suite for mom and dad or the college kids that didn't leave home, loft areas, bigger garages, solar equipped on every single one of these. Now, in many of these neighborhoods, you're still getting a lot more space and a little bit more house for the money compared to places like Roseville, Rocklin, or even Folsom. Look, and a lot of people are genuinely shocked when they can find a newer 4-bedroom home with modern layouts and that 3-car garage at pricing that you would buy noticeably less house in some of the surrounding suburbs. Now, another thing that stands out about Lincoln is the city still feels like it's growing into itself. Now, unlike a lot of the cities that feel purely residential, Lincoln still has a little bit more of that old school local identity mixed right in. So downtown Lincoln still has that smaller town, Northern California atmosphere with local restaurants, breweries, coffee shops, car shows, community events throughout the entire year. You have Goat House, Hill and Brand, and Fowler have become huge gathering spots because the vibe is way more laid back than people expect from a newer suburb. Now, the cool thing that I love about Lincoln is that you really have kind of like 5 different subsections. You have the original Old Lincoln, which is kind of where I'm at right now, Old Town Lincoln, Highway 65 or Old Lincoln Boulevard. Then you're gonna have some of the ranch rural properties that are gonna be all the way out in kind of the north part of Lincoln out towards Camp Far West. You have 55 and up communities like Sun City, Lincoln Hills, and Taylor Morrison Esplanade. You're gonna have 12 Bridges and Lincoln Crossing, which are gonna have some master plan communities, and you have the brand new Liberty Ranch. Now, this area has become one of the largest active adult communities anywhere in Northern California. You have 3 different public golf courses, 1 private, clubhouses, fitness centers, pickleball courts, walking trails, restaurants, social clubs. So much more of that resort style atmosphere than a lot of people expect. And then you're gonna have the 3 55 and up communities. You're gonna have Sun City, Lincoln Hills. You're gonna have the brand new Taylor Morrison by Esplanade out off Highway 195 by Turkey Creek. And you're gonna have another one that's gonna be up by Bickford Ranch, which is gonna be Trilogy by Shea. Now, keep in mind, Lincoln does have some trade-offs. Now, if you're commuting into downtown Sacramento every day, which trust me, I've done that before, that drive can start to suck because you're spending more time in traffic than you are where you actually work. From here to downtown Sacramento, there's not a clean and easy way to do it. So you're probably gonna be spending about an hour and 10, maybe an hour even 20 in the car getting down to downtown Sacramento. I do remember living out here, and at the time, there just wasn't a ton of different diversity in restaurant choices and things that you can do. And so keep that in mind. You know, you are gonna have limited nightlife. You are gonna have limited restaurant options. You're still gonna have grocery stores, Targets, Home Depots, Lowe's, but you're gonna have a lot of things out here. Now, for people who are looking for newer homes, modern layouts, more space, and a quieter suburban atmosphere without jumping into the highest Sacramento area price points, Lincoln has definitely become one of the most attractive areas in the entire region. So we've covered Fair Oaks and Lincoln, 2 completely different places, but the next community on this list is going to go in a direction that most people don't even think to consider. We're talking about a town where the wealth is quiet, the lots are big, the horses are real, and the privacy is the whole point.
There are parts of Loomis where you'll completely forget you're only 15 to 20 minutes away from Roseville, because the second you drive in here, everything changes. The roads get quieter, the lots get bigger, and you start seeing horse properties, custom homes, massive oak trees, long private driveways, barns, vineyards, and homes tucked deep into the foothills where you can barely even see the neighbors. And that atmosphere is exactly why people fall in love with Loomis. People move here because they want space, privacy, land, and a quieter overall lifestyle that feels completely different from the tighter suburban neighborhoods around Sacramento. This area has a much more understated luxury feel too. The wealth in Loomis doesn't feel flashy, it feels private, established, and centered more around lifestyle, acreage, and outdoor living than showing off what neighborhood you actually live in. That's exactly why some people specifically choose Loomis over places like Granite Bay or Rocklin. Once you start driving deeper into the Loomis Basin area, you'll find custom estates, equestrian properties, local wineries, mandarin orchards, detached shops, RV garages, guest houses, pools. We're talking properties where people actually have room to spread out. And despite the rural atmosphere, you're still only minutes from Rocklin and Roseville. So getting to the Galleria Mall, going to Topgolf, going to Costco, restaurants, shopping, and major amenities, it's still extremely convenient. Loomis also has a strong local identity. High Hand Nursery is a destination in itself. You've got the Flower Farm Cafe out off of Auburn Folsom Road. You've got Taylor's, where you can get a great burger off of Taylor Road. There's local wineries, events like the Loomis Eggplant Festival, and so much more. This area has a much more local small town feel than most people expect this close to Sacramento. Now, housing-wise, Loomis is heavily centered around custom homes, acreage properties, ranch-style homes, and luxury estates. You'll still find some older homes in the high 600,000s and 700,000s, but once you start talking acreage, guest houses, shops, pools, equestrian setups, or premium foothill locations, pricing moves up very quickly into the luxury category. Some properties reaching well into the multi-million-dollar range. Now, Loomis has real trade-offs though. Some homes are on septic systems or wells. Properties typically require more maintenance because of the land, and certain areas are less walkable and farther from everyday errands compared to a more traditional suburban setup. But for people looking for privacy, land, custom homes, foothill scenery, and a quieter Northern California lifestyle without completely disconnecting from Sacramento area amenities, Loomis has quietly become one of the most desirable communities in all of this region. Now, quick pause. We want to hear from you. Out of what we've covered so far, Fair Oaks, Lincoln, and Loomis, which one has surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments below, because the next two communities are where it gets really interesting. We're heading into the foothills next, and once the terrain changes, the whole feel of these communities changes with it. These next two places are where people come to visit and end up seriously reconsidering their entire Sacramento search.
Now, most people relocating to Sacramento have absolutely no idea places like Cameron Park even exist, because once you drive east on Highway 50 and start getting into the foothills, the entire landscape changes. The terrain gets hillier, the trees get thicker, the roads start winding through the landscape, and suddenly you're in a community that feels like you're more connected to the Sierra Nevada foothills and the outdoor Northern California lifestyle than a typical Sacramento suburb. Now, for a lot of people, that's exactly the appeal. Now, Cameron Park has become one of the most overlooked foothill communities for people who want more scenery, more privacy, and a slower pace without moving all the way into the remote mountain towns. This is probably one of my favorite places that we don't nearly talk about enough on the channel. So I'm actually out here at the Cameron Park Lake. So you have some of these places right here. Now, these are super cool condos back up behind me that back up to this lake. You've got this nice little trail that goes all the way around the entire lake. Now, this area feels more relaxed and a lot less polished than El Dorado Hills, but you still got some pretty cool stuff that's over here on the other side of the lake. You know, this is the biggest reason why some of the people prefer kind of these areas like Cameron Park. So you are trading kind of that master plan suburbia. You're getting mature trees, you're getting pine covered neighborhoods, you're getting homes that are kind of tucked back in towards the landscape. Super nice, super cool area. Now, a lot of people moving here want that easier access to boating, hiking, camping, winery, the Tahoe trips, the foothill weekends. So this is more about kind of integrating the type of lifestyle that you want on Saturday and Sunday into your Monday through Friday. So you're close enough to the everyday conveniences without feeling super disconnected from just kind of like society and life. And despite the foothill atmosphere that actually has a little bit more kind of disconnectedness, it actually has a really strong community feel. You've got awesome restaurants up here, Papa Gianni's, you got Moonraker Brewery that's up here, which is a super cool outdoor brewery section. You've got Cameron Park Coffee and Deli. You've got a ton of different things, and you have a lot of community events throughout the year. Specifically here at Cameron Park Lake, this is a huge major gathering spot. Walking trails where I'm at right now, you can do a little bass fishing, disc golf, local events. You got rib stock. In just a couple of weeks out here, you're gonna have a huge 4th of July event, which is gonna be absolutely cool. So everybody's gonna be packed around this lake. You're gonna see fireworks, and that's gonna be some of that real community energy that a lot of the newer planned communities just don't have. So now we're gonna take a quick little pause in this section of the video. I am gonna take you over to another spot in Cameron Park that I absolutely love, super quirky. And this is gonna be one of those things that really catches people off guard. Now this one, I'll actually go ahead and put the wide angle lens on this one. Now, one of the things that actually catches people off guard out here is the Cameron Air Park Estates. Now these are literally streets where people can park airplanes and hangars attached directly to their homes and taxi it straight to the runway. Now I definitely can't throw the drone up here, guys, but this is gonna give the community a really unique identity. Heck, if you even wanted to buy a house right here, you got this one for sale up here in Cameron Park Estates. It's got a pool, it's got an airplane hangar, and most people would never expect to see something like this close to Sacramento. So Cameron Park, housing wise, has a lot of different variety throughout Cameron Park. You can find older ranch homes on some acreage with some mature trees, split level homes with hillside views, larger custom homes, and properties that feel much more private because the terrain and the spacing between these homes is a little bit different. Now, compared to nearby El Dorado Hills, Cameron Park can still offer you a lot more value and maintain that foothill atmosphere. Now, one of the things to keep in mind is foothill living definitely comes with some trade-offs too. So you've got the potential up here for wildfire insurance and fire risk. That becomes much more important, especially in certain areas. Some of the roads are gonna be more winding, they're gonna be a little bit darker, and depending on the property, maintenance can be a lot higher because of the trees, the terrain, and the lot conditions. So for people looking for the foothill scenery, outdoor lifestyle, mature trees, privacy, and a much more relaxed Northern California atmosphere while staying a little bit more connected to Sacramento area amenities, Cameron Park is easily one of the most underrated communities in the entire region. So you definitely got an airplane up there. And then just on the other side of those homes is actually going to be the, place where you can take off and fly airplanes. Like, that is absolutely wild that you can do that. So it'd be so cool to get the drone up here right now, guys. But check out some of these houses. Like, these are absolutely insane. Don't tell Lauren, but I might even get my pilot's license and move us up to Cameron Park. This is pretty cool. Like, you got one person that's got an airplane literally over in their driveway. You got these wild garages. I mean, they're cool for RVs, but definitely cool for airplanes. Just on the other side of that house is the runway. All right, now Auburn is one of those places where people move for a year and somehow never leave, because the second you get into Auburn, it stops feeling like a Sacramento suburb entirely. It feels like real Northern California foothill towns. History, character, canyon views, old brick buildings, pine trees, local coffee shops. It's an atmosphere that feels completely different from newer construction communities that are closer to Sacramento. For a lot of people, Auburn becomes the exact lifestyle that they didn't even realize they were looking for.
This is the kind of place that pulls in people who are burnt out on the cookie cutter suburbia and want something that feels more authentic, outdoorsy, and actually connected to where they live. You've got places like Old Town Auburn and Downtown Auburn, which is where we're at right now, which is filled with historic buildings, local restaurants, breweries, wine bars, boutiques, coffee shops, farmers markets, and community events that keep the area feeling real and alive all the time. Places like Auburn Ale House, Monkey Cat, Edelweiss, Poor Choice Coffee, and Ikeda's have become local staples. And one thing people notice quickly is how walkable and social parts of Auburn actually feel compared to many of the Sacramento area suburbs.
Now, at the same time, Auburn is a huge destination for outdoor recreation. You're right next to the American River Canyon, Forest Hill Bridge, the No Hands Bridge, Hidden Falls, rafting areas, hiking trails, mountain biking, fishing, camping, and easy day trips towards Tahoe and different Gold Country towns. A lot of people here spend weekends outdoors because the environment naturally pulls you out and into that lifestyle.
And visually, Auburn is one of the most scenic communities anywhere on this list. You've got canyon overlooks, foothill sunsets, wooded back roads, elevated neighborhoods with views, historic homes, foothill cabins, ranch-style properties, custom homes tucked throughout the hills, and honestly, Auburn just does that to people.
Now, housing-wise, there is a ton of variety depending on where you want to look at. Some areas feel historic, walkable right here near Old Town, while some of the other neighborhoods in North Auburn feel more wooded, private, and tucked into the foothills. Now, pricing can vary a lot depending on the land, the views, the updates, and the location. So you can still find older homes in more moderate price ranges, while the custom homes, the acreage properties, and view homes can quickly move into that $1 million price point or the luxury category.
Now, foothill living does come with its own trade-offs. You've got wildfire insurance and fire risks, which become more important in certain areas. Some roads are steep and winding, and depending on where you live, commuting deep into Sacramento every day can start feeling like a haul. But for people looking for historic charm, outdoor lifestyle, foothill scenery, and gold country character, and a true Northern California atmosphere, while still staying connected to the Sacramento region, Auburn has quietly become one of the most desirable foothill communities anywhere in this area. And honestly, Auburn is one of those places where people come to visit once and spend the next few years figuring out how to actually move to this super cute town.
All right, now after looking at all five, one thing is super obvious. Sacramento isn't just one type of lifestyle. Fair Oaks stands out for the mature neighborhoods and river access. Lincoln is all about newer homes and newer growth. Loomis offers privacy, land, and rural luxury. Cameron Park gives you a little bit of that relaxed foothill lifestyle with serious outdoor access. And then Auburn stands out for historic charm, scenery, and authentic Northern California character.
There's no single best suburb around Sacramento. It really comes down to the type of environment and lifestyle that you want around every single day. And what's interesting is most people relocating here usually think they know exactly what they want until they actually start exploring these communities in person. We've seen it happen time and time again. Someone comes in dead set on new construction, and then we take them through Fair Oaks or up to Auburn, and the whole conversation shifts.
So hopefully this gave you a real sense of just how different these Sacramento area communities are, because every single one of them offers a completely different lifestyle, atmosphere, and a day-to-day experience. A lot of people relocating here end up changing their mind on where they actually want to live once they start exploring some of these areas in person.
So if you're thinking about moving to Sacramento and trying to figure out which area actually fits your lifestyle and what you're looking for long-term, reach out to us. We help people relocate to the Sacramento area every single week, and a huge part of what we do is helping people narrow down which communities actually make sense for them, because every area around Sacramento feels completely different once you actually experience it in person.
So whether you're moving soon or you're just starting to research, don't hesitate to reach out. We're always happy to answer any questions, talk through different scenarios, areas, and make the process feel a whole lot less overwhelming. So if you're not ready yet, completely understandable too. Keep doing the research here on the channel. We've got a lot of different resources, area guides. The playlist on the screen right now is going to show a full breakdown of Sacramento neighborhoods, city tours, and community guides, so you can keep building on the real picture of what day-to-day actually looks like out here. Go ahead and check that out, and we'll see you on the next one.